Welcome to Grace Answers Now. What I want to share with everybody today is it's about the unforgiving servant. And so what we're going to do here is a mini audio series on a lot of different topics. I shouldn't say topics, but Bible verses that deal with eternal security, because there are different church communities out there that will say either you lost salvation or you just never had it to begin with. And some of those churches that say you could lose salvation would be like the Catholic Church, the Orthodox Church, Wesleyan Holiness Movement churches, Assemblies of God, many Lutheran churches, not all, but many. There's just a lot of churches out there that believe you could lose salvation. And then on the other side of it is many Reformed churches, not all, but many Reformed churches believe you can demonstrate that you just were never saved to begin with. What we're going to do is we're going to work through the text and show that the audience is believers, that they're genuinely saved. They have problems within their Christian communities, amongst themselves. They're failing tremendously. And it does not coincide with the fact that you could lose salvation or you just were never saved to begin with. There's too many examples in the Bible to show that Christians fail tremendously. And when you cross-examine the issue with other Bible verses where you're sealed until the day of redemption, like in Ephesians 1:13 and 14, chapter 4, verse 30, and 2 Corinthians 1:22, that we're sealed. And that's marked ownership and security. And it's God that's preserving us, not that we're preserving our salvation, nor are we persevering for our salvation. Perseverance deals with rewards, but that's a whole nother issue. So today I want to go through the unforgiving servant in Matthew 18. Forgive to be forgiven. Let me ask a question. When Jesus says, if you do not forgive others, neither will your Father forgive you, is he talking about how to get eternal life or how forgiven people are supposed to live with one another? That question matters, because if forgiveness from God depends on our behavior, then salvation is no longer a free gift. So let's slow down and test the logic. First question is, who is Jesus talking to in Matthew 18? Is he preaching to unbelievers on how to be saved? Or is he speaking to disciples about life inside the family of God? Peter opens the conversation by asking, how often shall my brother sin against me and I forgive him? Notice the language, brother. Relationship already exists. No one is asking how to enter the family. They're asking how to function inside it. Second question, does the parable describe loss of eternal life? The servant's massive debt is forgiven freely. No payment plan, no probation period. That pictures complete forgiveness. But then the servant refuses to forgive someone else. So what happens here? Is he executed? Is he cast out of the kingdom? Is the original forgiveness reversed? No. He is disciplined, handed over to tormentors, corrected, and not condemned. So let me ask another question here. If Jesus wanted to teach loss of salvation, why does the parable never show hell, expulsion, or death? Why discipline instead of destruction? Third question. Can a child be corrected by a father without becoming an orphan? Of course. And that is the category Jesus is operating in. This is not courtroom forgiveness. This is family forgiveness. Judicial forgiveness settles guilt forever. Relational forgiveness restores fellowship daily. Now let's test the alternative view. If Matthew 18 teaches that God withholds eternal forgiveness when we fail to forgive others, then answer this honestly. Did Jesus lie when he said, he that heareth my word and believeth hath everlasting life? Is everlasting life temporary? Can something eternal be revoked by behavior? If forgiveness can be undone, then assurance becomes impossible. And if assurance is impossible, grace is no longer grace. So what is Jesus actually warning about? Here's the answer. Forgiveness brings torment, not damnation, discipline, not destruction, and broken fellowship, not loss of salvation. And we know this from experience. Let me ask you something personal. Have you ever been forgiven by God, yet lived with bitterness, anger, or resentment? Did you lose your salvation, or did you lose peace? Did God abandon you, or did your heart become heavy, restless, and disciplined from within? That is exactly what Jesus is describing. The point is not, rather, forgive so you can stay saved. The point is, because you are forgiven, refusing to forgive is spiritually destructive. Grace saves freely. Grace also teaches responsibility. Forgiveness is not a condition for eternal life, it is a condition for healthy fellowship. So let's say it plainly. Matthew 18 is not a threat to salvation, it is a warning to believers, a warning that unforgiveness will cost you joy, peace, intimacy, and rest, but never your eternal life. Because what God forgives judicially, he never revokes. And what he disciplines relationally, he does to restore, not to reject. Grace forgives first, fellowship responds second, and eternal life remains secure. And so, as you see, working through that passage, the audience is believers. It's relational. It's not about judicial forgiveness and how to get into the family, but how to operate now that you are already in that family. And so it's a family function dynamic here. It's not on how to get eternal life. I hope that has blessed you. And please share this with others because we need to work through these texts and show others that salvation is secure and assurance is guaranteed. God bless.